Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of Drishti IAS editorial analysis. In this editorial analysis, we do three things. First of all, we link the editorial to the UPSC syllabus. Secondly, we try to understand the key points of the editorial. And thirdly, if any key concepts have come in the editorial, then we also discuss. So let us begin today's editorial analysis. We have taken today's editorial from Hindustan Times and it has appeared on 3rd of June. The title of the editorial is After Amphan, Nisarg sounds a warning bell. So it is referring to the two cyclones which have hit India in the recent past. Cyclone Amphan had made landfall in the Sundarbans area and it caused heavy destruction in parts of West Bengal. And this Nisarg cyclone, it is supposed to hit parts of Mumbai, Maharashtra and also parts of Gujarat. And it is expected that it will also cause lot of destruction as it has turned into a severe cyclonic storm. And the editorial also says that the climate crisis is here and the cities will have to prepare better for disasters. So now let us look at the linkage with syllabus. So we find that it links with GS paper 1 and GS paper 3. In GS paper 1, we have geography as a major topic. And under this we have important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc. So the science behind cyclones that we need to study here. And in GS paper 3, it links with disaster management because tropical cyclones, when they hit any part of the country, they lead to heavy destruction and it is a natural disaster. So we have to link this with disaster management. So after establishing this link, let us look at the key points of the editorial. So before moving on to the key points of the editorial, let us have a look at the path of the cyclone and where it is exactly going to make a landfall. So the cyclone Nisarg, this is shown here in the red dots. So its landfall is going to be along this trajectory and it will be making landfall near Mumbai, and it will also touch some parts of Gujarat and then move on to Madhya Pradesh. And right now it is expected that it will be a severe cyclonic storm. We'll look at the categories of tropical cyclones in a while. And one more important thing to note here is that the Arabian Sea, which normally doesn't see much cyclones, it saw 5 cyclones in 2019, which equaled a 117-year-old record. And the experts are saying that somewhere climate change is responsible for this phenomena. That the ocean and the seas are getting warmer and it is creating conditions which are conducive for tropical cyclones to form. Otherwise, the Bay of Bengal area is more common for the formation of such tropical cyclones. And also the pre-monsoon cyclones are not that common, but over last few years we have seen that this is happening on a regular basis. In fact, in June 2019 we had this cyclone Vayu which formed in June 2019 and it hit areas of Gujarat, but on landfall it turned into a low depression, so it did not cause much damage. So now let us look at the names of these 5 cyclones which hit Arabian Sea in 2019. So the first one was Vayu, second one was Hika, third one was Kr, which was a super cyclonic storm, fourth one was Maha, and the fifth one was Pavan. And now we have the sixth one in 2020, which is Nisarg. The name Nisarg has been given by Bangladesh and it means nature. So the name Nisarg, which means nature, has been given by Bangladesh, whereas for this super cyclone Amphan, the name was suggested by Thailand. And in 2004, this naming convention started in the northern Indian Ocean, and 8 countries are part of this naming convention, and they have made a list of 64 names. The criteria for choosing these names are they should be short, they should be readily understood, and they should not be culturally insensitive. So these 8 countries are India, Oman, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Thailand, Myanmar, Sri Lanka and Maldives. This is important from prelims point of view. And also we should have some idea about what is a tropical cyclone. So tropical cyclone is nothing but it acts like a heat engine. And where does it get its energy input? It gets it from the warm waters and the humid air which is present in the tropical ocean. And a large sea surface makes the formation of tropical cyclones that much easier. And generally the temperature has to be above normal. So somewhere around 27 degree to 32 degree temperature. that is conducive for formation of these tropical cyclones. Now let us also look at the categories of cyclonic storms. So cyclonic storms are categorized in the northern Indian Ocean based on their speeds. So a cyclonic storm is 62 to 88 kilometers per hour, and the higher version of it, which is the severe cyclonic storm, has a speed of 89 to 117 kilometers per hour. And then very severe cyclonic storm will have speed ranging from 118 to 164 kilometers per hour. And extremely severe cyclonic storms will have speed ranging from 165 to 220 kilometers per hour. And then we have the super cyclone category, which is 220 kilometers per hour or more. And Nisarg, as we know, is going to be a severe cyclonic storm. So the speed range would be somewhere between 89 to 117 kilometers per hour. Now let us move to the key points of the editorial. The editorial starts by saying that these cyclones are like a warning bell and we must pay heed to what the nature is trying to tell us. So we have example of this super cyclone Amphan, which made landfall on the east coast of India and caused a lot of destruction in West Bengal and Odisha. And now this next tropical cyclone, which is Nisarg, it is going to make landfall in the west coast of India, and that too in very high frequency. These events are happening, and these are known as extreme weather events. And due to global warming, climate change, these have become that much frequent. And the editorial makes this point that the climate crisis is here and we must take note of it. And it says that the cities which are going to be at the forefront of this climate crisis, they will need to prepare better for such disasters or extreme weather events which are going to happen with much more frequency. The editorial then talks about this cyclone Nisarg, and it says that this severe tropical cyclonic storm which has formed in Arabian Sea, it is expected to make landfall in the Raigad district, which is south of Mumbai, as per the Indian Meteorological Department. And the IMD has sounded a red alert because it is expecting extremely bad weather which is going to disrupt travel and power supply, and there can also be risk to life. We will also look at the various kind of alerts in the key concept section. And the editorial also talks about the impact of Nisarg, which is a severe cyclonic storm. So it is going to submerge the low-lying areas of Mumbai and other adjoining areas because there are going to be very high waves. And because the wind speed will be very high, it might uproot a lot of trees, which was also seen with the super cyclone Amphan. And also the uncemented houses, which are basically the houses of the people who are poor and underprivileged. Their houses, which are uncemented, they may also face destruction by the wind speed. And there can also be damage to critical infrastructure like power lines, like telecom towers, and other such critical infrastructure things like bridges and road networks. They can also be damaged. And finally, because the wind speed is going to be substantially high, it can also lead to loss of lives of both people and livestock and animals. And the editorial makes this point that this is going to further strain the resources of Maharashtra government, which is already fighting this COVID-19 pandemic, due to which its resources are already constrained. So even the aftermath of the storm is not going to be easy for the government of Maharashtra and also for the people of Maharashtra. So tackling this cyclone Nisarg is going to be a test of government of Maharashtra, how it handles the twin crisis of COVID-19 pandemic and also this severe cyclonic storm. The editorial also makes a point that there is a concern about the increased frequency of such extreme weather events. Not only they have become more destructive, but their frequency has also increased, which is a serious cause of concern. And it says that cyclones like Amphan and Nisarg, they seem to be like trailers of what the future is going to look like for India. And the major cause for this is the climate crisis that the world is facing, especially India, which is a high disaster prone country. And it makes this point that this climate crisis is giving rise to such extreme weather events like cyclones. And these cyclones have not just become stronger, but they have become more destructive as well. And it further adds that the climate change has impacted the sea surface temperature, which has increased, and this has led to more rainfall during such storms, which leads to flooding of low lying areas and loss of life and property. Also, the rising sea levels, which is again an outcome of the global warming, it has increased the distance to which a storm surge can reach. So it is reaching further inland and causing a lot of destruction, which was not happening earlier, but it is happening due to the rise of sea levels, and also due to the increased temperature of sea surface and moisture available in the air. The storms are becoming more and more powerful, and they are causing more destruction when they are making landfall. The editorial suggests that adapting to the climate change is the only key for survival. And it says that the Indian cities should now accept this reality, and they should start making bottom up climate adaptation and resilience policy. Because we have seen that whenever the policies, especially concerning climate change, are made in a top down manner, the impact is not as desired, and sometimes these policies totally fail at the ground level. So, what is needed is bottom up climate adaptation, where we learn on the ground what is the requirement of the people, what are the kind of challenges that the people are facing, and what are the resources available with them, so that a policy can be rooted in reality and it can be effective against such climate change. So, what is needed, it says, is micro level planning and adaptation plans which are made with public participation. And for this to become a reality, the urban local governments, they will need to play the major role, because they are running the cities. And for them to be effective against this climate change induced crisis, they will need political as well as financial empowerment and also trained personnel, because this has been the bane of urban local bodies and almost all the Panchayati Raj institutions, that they have not been given the 3 F's, which is funds, functions, and functionaries. So that is what is needed now, that they should be given funds, they should be allowed to function freely in their domain, and they should be also given access to trained resources and trained personnel, so that they can make effective intervention in climate change adaptation. So this was all in the key points of the editorial. Now let us move on to the key concept section. So first of all, let us look at what are cyclones and how do they form. So tropical cyclones are violent storms that originate over oceans in tropical areas, and then they move over to the coastal areas. And when they make landfall, they cause large scale destruction due to violent winds and very heavy rainfall and storm surge. And they are basically irregular wind movements involving closed circulation of air around a low pressure center. And this low pressure center is known as the eye of the cyclone. And this closed air circulation is a result of rapid upward movement of hot air, which is subjected to Coriolis force. And this low pressure at the center is responsible for the wind speeds. And another important thing to note here is that the cyclonic wind movements are anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. And this happens due to the Coriolis force. And this Coriolis force emerges due to the Earth's rotation. And another important fact to note here is that Coriolis force is 0 at the equator. But in northern hemisphere, it makes the wind deflect towards the right, and in southern hemisphere, it does the reverse. Now let us look at the conditions which is favorable for their formation. So a large sea surface with temperatures higher than 27 degrees Celsius, presence of Coriolis force large enough to create a cyclonic vortex, and small variations in the vertical wind speed. So there should be difference in the wind speed. And a pre-existing weak low pressure area or a low level cyclonic circulation, this also helps in the creation of a tropical cyclone. And upper divergence, if it is present above the sea level system, it also helps. So these are the conditions which make it favorable for the formation of a tropical cyclone. Now let us look at the India Meteorological Department, IMD. It was formed in 1875 and it is the chief government agency dealing in everything related to meteorology, seismology and associated subjects. And it works under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. This is important, and it is headquartered in New Delhi. Now let us look at the 4 color codes that are used by IMD. So these colors are green, yellow, amber or orange and red. When it is green, it means all is well, no advisory is issued, everything is fine. Yellow means that you have to be aware and it indicates severely bad weather spanning across several days, which may cause disruption in day-to-day activities. And the orange or amber alert, it says that a warning is of extremely bad weather with the potential of disruption in commutation and interruption of power supply. Whereas the red alert, it means that you have to take action. And for cyclone Nisarg, IMD has issued now red alert. So you have to take action, and the extremely bad weather conditions are certainly going to disrupt travel and power supply and have significant risk to life. In such cases, red alert is issued. So this was all in today's editorial analysis. Now let us look at the kind of questions that can be asked in PT and mains. So in PT, you can be asked direct question about tropical cyclones and how they are formed, what is the eye of cyclone, and whether it is caused due to low pressure or high pressure. So such kind of questions can be asked and you should be able to answer it. Then the categorization of tropical cyclones based on the wind speed, that also you should be knowing. The naming, and especially in northern Indian Ocean, how they are named. And a question can be on who has suggested the name Nisarg, who has suggested the name Amphan, and so on. So that one should be knowing. And what do you mean by a landfall point? So that also should be clear, where the cyclone hits the land. And maybe a question on India Meteorological Department, the alert systems, various color coding, etc. These kind of questions can be asked in prelims. But when we talk about mains, then questions can be about how tropical cyclones are formed, what are the conditions or factors which lead to the formation of tropical cyclones, and what is the impact of climate change on the frequency as well as severity of tropical cyclones that we see nowadays. And again, a question can be on disaster management, what steps, measures you can suggest, what the government is doing, and such questions can be asked from you. So these are the kind of areas where you should be prepared. So this was all in today's editorial analysis. We'll see you next time with another editorial. Thank you.